All right, so this is another quick take video. This is on oligopoly, and it's specifically looking at how the oligopoly plays out in the marketplace. To do that in our textbook, we like to look at a duopoly, and in the textbook we're using, we look at Airbus versus Boeing. The idea is that if you want to seriously maximize your profit, you want to behave more like a monopoly and less like a perfectly competitive firm. So you want to have where you're producing the same amount of goods and the same price, and maximizing profits. The problem is if firms begin to compete, they begin to whittle away at each other's profits. So let's take a look at that, what that looks like. So if we're looking at our situation where we have the duopolist and we have Boeing and Airbus, you can see right here that they begin at a place where they're producing 3 planes each. So there's 6 planes in the market. So the concept is that if they do that, everything's good. Their price of their planes is 13 million. Their revenues are 39 million each. The cost is given to us. It's 3 million each. So they're each seeing an economic profit of 36 million. Market value of 72 million. The idea is this is because they're limiting their production, which has driven the price up. Again, remember that in this oligopoly market that the demand is downward sloping, so the more product, the price will begin to decrease, and then we will increase our, the output increases, and that causes the price decrease. So what happens if we look at this scenario play out and we just go like, okay, the next week Boeing is going to go ahead and make an extra plane because they want to try to make extra money. And so you can see they make 4. Airbus doesn't know anything about it. They make 3. We now have 7 planes in the market. Well, because the market total has increased, that's going to drive the price down. So the price drops from 13 down to 11. Everybody has to sell each plane at 11, right? Because this is a single price situation. You can see Boeing's revenue is up to 44. Airbus's has dropped to 33. The total is 77. These are the costs because it's costing that much to make a plane, 1 million per. Obviously this is olden day prices. And you can see that Boeing's pretty happy. They made 40 million. Airbus is very unhappy. They made 30. The total market is 70. And if we just quickly compare that backwards, we can see that Boeing improved by 4 million. So they're pretty happy about that. So they improved by 4 million plus 4. You can see that Airbus lost money. They lost 6 million, so minus 6 million. And then you can see the marketplace is minus 6 million as well because it's 72. I mean, minus 2 million, my bad. And so the market has even lost profit. So this would continue on and on and on. The next week, we see an example of Boeing staying at 4, but now Airbus has made the 4th. The market total's gone to 8 planes. 8 planes has driven the cost even further down to 9 million per plane. So each of them are making 36 million. Market is 72. Prices are there 4 because it's a million per plane. 8 million is the cost. So you can see that at the end of the 3rd week, they're down to 32 each, or 64 for the market. So you can see by competing, they've driven the prices way down and they've driven their profits down. So Boeing was at 40, but now they're down to 32. Airbus was at 30, they're up to 32, so they're a little bit happier. The market is at 64, even though it once was at 70. The whole point is that if they had just stayed put at making 3 each, they were making 36 million each. But by competing, they've driven themselves down to a profit of only 32 million each. And so the idea here is that you can see visually that being competitive drives the price down. It's good for the consumer, but it's bad for the supplier. And now the supplier is down to losing money all because they competed. And if they just stayed put and been satisfied with what they were doing, they both would have made more money. The principle there is that they would like to be able to stay in cahoots, be colluding with each other, keep the production down, but it's hard to trust your other competitor or your other partner in a duopoly to not try to increase their profit. the concept is, and we'll talk about it in the next video, is that because they can't trust each other, they never end up maximizing their profit, and they end up settling for something a little less than maximum profit. But again, that'll come in the next video.